Hi, this is Michele Zaragoza, team leader, Central Valley, South Lodi, Tracy, Manteca, Modesto. We have Chris here, which I'm very, very excited. I don't think Chris realizes that he was probably the first team leader I met in 2012. We actually have a picture of him and I at a regional meeting. Chris, do you realize that?
No, but when I hear you talking, I'm like, wait, I do recognize her. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I didn't from the picture, but when I see you talking, I'm like, I know this person.
Yes, you do. You are amazing and always coming from abundance. And here you are again. And he reached out to me because he's always coming from abundance. And during this time, it's leaders like him who show up. And Chris, you have always shown up. So thank you so much for everything that you do for Keller Williams and all of our agents. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Definitely.
I'm going to let you take it away, my friend.
Okay, so I'm assuming that whoever is on will give me control or give me
That would be me. So give me a
okay.
moment.
But thank you. I do recognize some of you guys that you guys we've known each other for the years. I've been with Keller Williams now for 18 years, 17, 18 years. I'm an old timer with Keller Williams. I was a team leader for about 10 years and retired about 7 or 8 years ago. And because I'd run the length of time, a team leader average, is a couple of years, 4, 5, 6, 7 years till they pursue something else. But I love doing it. But I found I wanted to be an agent again. So I retired from being a team leader and decided to go back into real estate. And people said, well, what was your secret sauce? And I go, I'll tell you my secret sauce. And my secret sauce was just the MREA book. That was it. There's no other secret sauce. I just followed the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. And in those 7 years, in those 7 years, I now have advanced myself to a large team. I'm an expansion owner. So what they would say a seventh level real estate agent. And being a seventh level real estate agent, I've gone from that into being an expansion agent. I'm just setting up my screen real quick. So I apologize. It's going to go into the class real quick. But if you guys read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, success doesn't determine upon how big your team is or how many people you have or what you do. Success determines what goals you set for yourself and if you decide to achieve them. My expansion team is based in Silicon Valley and in the Sacramento region. And so we are live, play real estate. And I would encourage if you guys have any, I know you guys are in the middle, so you guys probably service both those areas. But again, we're here and my name is Chris. I'm also a Keller Williams University instructor and a fun guy. So I do have a couple of members of my team that are here on this as well, because when I said I'm teaching, they went, well, crap, I think I'll go join the class too. So if you guys have any emails or questions, feel free to email me. I'm happy to get back to you, but I am also a working, breathing agent, just like all of you. So it may take me 24 hours to get back a hold of you, but I promise you that I will get back a hold of you. So I live in Campbell, California, and I spend one day a week in the Sacramento area. Gary Keller's initial teaching said when he expanded into Oklahoma City with Mo Anderson, he had said he wanted to be able to expand in an area where he could drive to and get back for dinner. And so that's how my expansion has been. I want to be able to expand and get back for dinner. So I'm always cruising through Manteca and Tracy and all those areas because I owned a boat and kept a Discovery Bay. So you guys are like my home. And I know a lot of you guys. So hello. If we're not friends on Facebook, please follow. But today we're going to be talking about the evolution of lead generation and lead generation for our listings. I dug out material from the MREA training that we did. And if you see the bottom of the slide, it says 2004. Yes, I am pulling crap from 2004 to teach us in 2020. I don't know. And yes, the restrictions you guys have are the same restrictions I have, but the way I look at it in our area, it's a little bit less restrictive up in El Dorado County, which is if you look at Sacramento going up towards Tahoe that way, it's a little less restrictive. But we do have the restrictions. So it's like, tell me what the rules are. I'll play by the rules and I'll go get business. Because there's a lot of agents out there that are going to like freeze up. They're going to be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do anything. Oh my God. And they're going to complain. They're going to moan and they're going to go and they're going to say all these bad words that we can't say because I don't have a swear jar in my office. So the idea is how, if it's to be, it's up to me. I'm the one who's going to be responsible for my success based upon the guidelines that are given. Can we do open houses? No. Can we door knock? No. Can I do first time homebuyer seminars? No. Can I drop a bunch of crap off on your doorstep? No. But what can I do? What's there left? I mean, what do I do? Just sit here and complain? I can't even go in front of the water cooler and complain with you because I'm not wearing a mask. So now I can't even go and do the complaining that most agents do when they're at the office. So what do we do? What do we do? What are our thoughts? Because we know that if I look at I'm standing up really quick to grab a book. we know that if we read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, it says in there, listings are the gifts of the real estate gods, right? Listings are the gifts of the real estate gods because every listing I get should generate up to 2 buyers. Now, let's back this up.
Listen what he said.
A listing is so golden in today's day and age because I can't do an open house. Can't find buyers at open house, right? I could list my house and I could do an open house and a crap ton of people are going to walk through it. And I'm probably going to get an open house buyer from someone else, but I had a chance to talk to them. If there are no open houses and I have a listing, I almost become the queen, the king, the everything, because in order to get information about this listing, they got to call me. In order to view this property, they got to call me. In order to get disclosures or to schedule anything, they got to call me. And so I now have more control than we've ever had before, which is different because in a way, this market is good. I know that I can't lead generate the traditional ways to get my buyers and so forth, but if I have a listing, it is so golden because I have an opportunity that I'll never have ever again, which is you can only come by an appointment, right? And I can use those little systems, half hour, half hour, half hour. I know that everybody who's going to come is a qualified buyer because I tell you, those looky-loos and tire kickers and nosy neighbors aren't going to come to an open house. I mean, they're not going to come and look at my house. It's a waste of their time to fill out a PED and to sometimes get a pre-approval letter and submit all that crap and then schedule a time to go and put on booties and wash my hands and wear a mask and go 2 by 2 inside the house. So if I'm not really that serious of a buyer, am I really going to look at your house? I'm not. So now we find that a listing is going to bring in so many different buyers. I mean, the buyers that are going to come for our listings are going to be more qualified than we've ever seen before. Now, the second step to that is normally in November, December, January, the inventory, I mean, the market just goes down, right? We kind of go down. We spend more time drinking and partying and having fun. Well, I don't really drink that much. I don't golf, but these are the times that we really can schedule other things because we're not that busy. But what's happening is normally inventory or the market, just not market, but the amount of business goes down November, December, and then comes back up January, February. But as right now, we're finding the buyers there are more buyers out there than sellers. So if there are more buyers than sellers, even if inventory is dropping, buyers are still staying steady, which means inventory is still selling so quick. So, and the problem is sellers don't know where to go. If I'm a seller, where do I go? I don't know where to go. Do I go to Idaho? Do I go to Arizona? Do I go to Florida? Do I go to Texas? I don't know. So a lot of sellers aren't moving because they don't know where to go, or maybe they're afraid of COVID and they're like, I don't want people in my house. And if I got to sell, how do I let people into my house while I'm trying to sell, but they're going to come into my house and I don't feel safe, but I need to sell, but I don't feel safe. They get stuck in a situation. They don't know how to answer that question. And so you need to come in as an agent. How do you answer that question? Now, we're not going to talk about that today. That'd be your broker. I think her name is Chris, if I'm remembering from this conversation. She's the one that could help you. How do you sell a house with the person who's still living there to make sure you're COVID safe? Or Michele could help you out with that question. But a lot of sellers may not know where to go. So maybe it's your job to help them understand where to go. So take a look at the market. The reason why we're still seeing it continue to be a seller's market in many areas of the country is because there are more buyers than sellers. Because this buyer is unique. This buyer wants space. This buyer wants a front yard and a backyard. This buyer wants Zoom rooms. They want an exercise room. They don't want to live with their parents. I read an article that said 53% of millennials still live with their parents. And the millennials have money. They have money to buy. So now they're all coming out saying, well, I think it's time to buy because they can't take their sabbaticals to Australia. They can't go to the bar at night and drink their expensive drinks. So they're sitting on all this money and they got to do something. And they're living with their mom because they don't want to rent because they don't feel it's safe enough to rent in the big cities. So we've got this thought of listings give you leads and listings give you leverage. Every listing you should generate 1 to 2 buyers. If I have buyers, they don't generate additional buyers. They will in time, right? We know that from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that everybody in my database, if I could systematically market and prospect to them on a regular basis, will result in additional business. But a buyer just gives me money, right? I close the deal, it goes into my database, I market a bunch to them, and then I end up getting something in the future. But a seller gives me unique opportunities because that seller gives me the ability to market on Facebook, where that's a great place where everybody is. Instagram, market on Twitter, market on Pinterest, wherever you're going to market this listing, you have the ability to market everywhere because it's yours. Now you do have the ability to market other people's listings, but they need to give you permission, specific permission. Don't advertise or market additional person's commission or listing unless you get approval from them or Michele or Chris, or I don't know how else. Patty, you also spoke in this meeting, so I don't know who you need to talk to about sharing each other's listings, but know that it's okay if you do. You got to make sure yours. We use the word we, don't use the word I. So, but the thing that we need to think about is from the Shift book, which that some of you guys may have forgotten about. The Shift book was written because the market shifted 10 years ago. And it shifted going from a wonderful seller's market that it was amazing. We were making so much money as a team leader. It was like every time you took a breath, another listing came in and everyone made so much money, to nothing. Nothing would sell. We had nothing. You'd have like 5 deals come in a week total, or 2 weeks. It would be nothing. And everybody was the people that were in the business then. When I see them today, there's very few of us and them that survived that downturn of the housing crisis. And we don't want to put ourselves in that situation or think about that. So the evolution of lead generation has changed. And if I look at the slide that we have that I'm showing you, which you should be able to see, I don't know. Can you guys see my screen? Is my screen shared? I think my screen is shared.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, it's not showing me the traditional idea. So you could see just the one screen that shows evolution of lead, or you see both?
No, we can see that screen and we can see all the slides to the left.
Okay, yeah, I am going to. So if I do this should give us right. Okay.
Yes, perfect.
So the game has changed, and we used to do phone calls. We used to do, then suddenly we started doing phone calls and mailers, and then we started doing phone calls, mailers, and shaking hands and hey, yo, what's up? And then we started teaching these classes and everything. And then it changed again. It's like that. The only thing that stays consistent in real estate is that change is the only thing that's consistent in real estate, because what works today may not work tomorrow, and what works tomorrow may not work today. And that's an interesting thought. Is Gary Keller talks about people saying that the market changes and people complain about the market changing, but even if the market changes, it's okay that the market changes. It just means you bring a different bag of tools and you work from those new bag of tools based upon that day, whatever that day is. So today, this new bag of tools is being presented to us. When Michele talked about, your amazing team leader talked about what it was going on today, it's not Keller Williams telling you guys don't do this. It's everybody. So everybody is going to have the same rules to work around. And there will be some that will skirt the rules. There will be some that will have subterfuge and lie and cheat in order to get what it is that they want. Okay, yes, that could eventually happen, but I'm not saying that everybody is going to be that way. And the point is we need to follow whatever those rules are, and we have to realize that things have changed. So now what used to be simple is now becoming a little bit harder. And some of those harder things are, where do I get my clients? Am I using social media? Am I using my database? And we're going to come back to some of the ideas and thoughts that the business that I'm trying to get my system to work. I apologize for there we go. So when we think of that thought let's see. So there is, when we look at the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book again, if you have it, it's on page 134 of this book. And on page 134 of the book, it gives you this. If you could see this, it is the power of positioning. A lot of us have read this and thought this. In today's day and age, the National Association of I think it was Zillow. I know we don't really talk about Zillow or Redfin or one of those two, did a survey, and they found that 53 to 54% of buyers and online contacts could choose a different agent, even if you talked to them 2 weeks ago. So that means you're in a relationship with the client, and in that relationship with the client, you think they're going to work with you, and you think they're only going to work with you, and they're going to work with nobody else. And then suddenly they call you and tell you they got in a contract with another agent, or you found out they got in a contract with another agent, or they'll go quiet on you. Why do you think that happens? Why do you think your friend, your buyer, your seller, your previous client just jump ship on you immediately? Why do you think that happens? Anybody have any ideas on that? You can unmute and just tell me if you want to give me a thought process. Well, if I'm searching on the internet and I don't like what I see, I'll exit out of the box and I'll open up a new box and I'll end up trying to find something else, right? You find it with the news right now, right? People don't tend to listen to the news and listen to both sides. They'll find a side that they like and then find a news source that gives you what they like, and then they'll tune out everything else and they'll only listen to what it is that they're listening to. So if they're not finding the information they want to from an agent, they'll go and find an agent that gives them the information that they want. And if they don't like the news site or the information, they'll click the X box and they'll open up another one. So they started to become fickle. And if you're not doing enough to connect with them because you're not seeing them in person, you're just a news site, and they're going to click out of your box and they're going to open up a new box and go with somebody else, even though you've been working with them. So your lead is more important than it's ever been before. You must stay in communication with them. You must talk with them, email, text them, talk to them in the communication pattern that they would like to be talked to. Because if you're not doing that, someone else could be. The other thought of it is if you're not staying in touch with them on a regular basis, then I'll bet you someone else is. Just a side note really quick for Michele. Am I controlling people coming or going, or are you controlling them? Do I have to let people in? I don't know if anybody needs to be let in. Doesn't look like it. Okay. I can't hear you. You're muted, by the way, Michele, but
Yeah, I can't tell on my end. I just shared the yeah, I
Okay.
just do you want me to reclaim the host for a moment?
No. It's okay. Nobody's doesn't look like anybody is doing that. So I think we're okay.
Okay.
I can't, for some reason, my mouse doesn't want to there. Okay.
Technology. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I know, but hey, we're still flowing, guys. We've got it, and gals. So coming back to that thought is, and I see my screen pushed forward too far. I'm sorry about that. Here we go. That's where we're at. So when we're talking with our clients, you find that I bet you a lot of you have had a client just go dry on them. You're talking to them right now, and suddenly you're not talking to them anymore. You find that in today's day and age, because of this internet, I mean, not the internet, because we're shut down, you're finding that people will end up going to somebody else without any rhyme or reason. But a lot of it could be because somebody else is giving them more information, because we set our clients up on these auto drip programs, right? We go to the MLS and we send auto drips, and we kind of send them a bunch of crap, and they get email after email after email about new listings. And we go and we look online and we go, oh, look, Joe looked at a new listing today. And oh, look, Joe looked at a new listing tomorrow. But then 2 or 3 weeks passes and you haven't talked to Joe. And then Joe goes quiet. And then you look up and Joe buys a house with somebody else. And they used your freaking website and the listings you're giving in order to find the house that they want, and they bought with another agent. It's because your listing feed is now just like Zillow and Redfin and all the other companies out there. If you're not making a communication with your client, if you're not talking to your client on a regular basis when you're sending that info, you're just a website sending them leads. They're not even looking at your picture and your name, even though you spent all that time to have the perfect picture and you look amazing. You got your hair done, your nails done and everything. But the picture, they don't care. They've forgotten who you are. You're just sending leads. And when they find it, they go call another agent. Hey, I was on the site and I found it, but they're calling another agent because the other agent is the one who's reaching out. So you have to find out when you're talking to your client is what way do they want to be communicated with, to make sure that you're communicating with them. Because if you're not first in their mind, you're not going to be the one they're going to choose. The old MREA book said 71% of the time sellers, or whatever the amount was, will choose, or 81 or whatever the amount is. Let me go to page 134 and tell you it shows that 76% of the time sellers will consider one agent when they're considering selling, just one. That's it. But now you find that if I'm not first, I'm going to be last. And I need to make sure that I'm going to create that position, because I need to be sure that I'm talking to my clients on a regular basis to be sure that they don't forget who I am. Because real estate is a lead generation business. I am a lead generator. And people ask you, oh, what do you do? I mean, not if you're in the elevator, you have another speech. Why? I help people provide wealth through real estate acquisitions. I don't know what you say. Remember, they told us to figure out how, if you go up in an elevator for 5 stories, what do you say in 5 stories to the person next to you if they ask you what you do? That isn't today's class. But real estate, your real job is, I am a lead generator. That is my job. What do you do? I'm a lead generator. What do you focus on? I focus on real estate. But I'm a lead generator. That's what I do. And it's kind of funny because in my team meetings for my team, I talk about, if I run an ad in the newspaper right now, $100,000 a year, that's the job. What do? You have to call and talk to 10 people a day about real estate. You mean I have to call 10 people? No, you might have to call 50 people. But how many people have to talk to a day? 10. Well, what do you have to say? This script right here. Hi, are you thinking about buying or selling? I'm here to help you buy or sell. And do you know anybody who's thinking about buying or selling? And don't forget about me. And hey, how are you? That's all you have to say. That's it. That's all. I just have to say this script, and you'll pay me $100,000 a year. I say yes. How many people would apply for that job? Everybody would apply for that job. Everybody would, because it's $100,000 and all I got to make is 10 calls. But if you put 100 real estate agents in the room and you tell them, hey, I just need you to call and talk to 10 people a day. How many are going to call 10 people a day? I mean, talk to 10 people a day about real estate. How many? How many of you guys have talked to 10 people a day in the last 7 days? 10, not just like, hey, yo, what's up, dog? Hey, you know what I'm doing? Hey, what's going on? Not that. I'm saying, hey, are you thinking about buying or selling? Look at this property. Look at this. Do you think of me? Blah, blah, blah. How many of you guys have actually thought of that or done that? 10 people a day for the last 7 days.
And you guys could chat back. He's talking with you.
I can see some of you smiling. Come on. Well, if nobody speaks, I'll assume nobody talked to 10 people a day. So, but if you talk to 10 people a day about real estate, would you make more than $100,000? You probably would. You probably make more than 100,000. So why is it that if I suddenly go get a real estate license, I don't want to work, but if I don't have a real estate license, I will work? Why is it so hard? Because when you're talking to your clients, I don't want to be a secret agent. I have to do it. This is my job. I can't, there's nothing I can, or I mean, I have to do it. This is my job. And sometimes we over trivialize it. Now, no leads means no business. If I have no leads, I have no business. When I first started in real estate, before Keller Williams, I've been Keller Williams 18 years now. I think we had 14,000 real estate agents in all of Keller Williams. That's it. All of Keller Williams. It was Keller who? Paint Company? Sherwin-Williams? Who's that? Why would I ever want to go there? That's dumb. I don't even know what company you are. I think we had a San Jose office, a Fremont office, San Mateo and San Francisco and Oakland or something like that. I don't know. Some of those offices don't even exist. And I love it now. I mean, 18 years. I love Keller Williams. I love every minute of Keller Williams. And don't forget to tell people about Keller Williams because we're awesome. So
Why do you say that, Chris?
why do I say Keller Williams is awesome? Because
Yes.
I could go anywhere I want to, but I'm at Keller Williams because we have the people in Keller Williams are building a business that's trying to make it easier and better for us to do business. It's not about corporate profits, and it's not about creating income for other people that are owners. It's about creating the lives or helping build the lives and careers of us agents. And if they build the lives and careers of us, we help build the company. I just love it. And the culture.
Cool.
So, and I'm never going anywhere. People have just given up on trying to call me because when they try and call me, I try and recruit them. So,
There you go.
So I know one agent tried to call someone tried to call one of my agents on my team. So I called that agent and said, hey, I'd like to talk to you about your company and, let's talk about this. In fact, I'm going to give you a call every day for the next 14 days until you call me back to talk about real estate, because if you're going to call my team, I'm just going to call you. And I said, and I'm going to figure out where you work. And I'm going to start calling everybody in your office because I know that they'd rather come work for my company than yours. And that person never called again. Okay. Anyway, so real estate is a lead generation business. It's one of the easiest businesses to make a lot of money. It's easy, but don't confuse easy with fun. I'm not saying some of the stuff you have to do is fun. I am not saying that sitting down and lead generating for 2 hours a day is going to be fun. I'm not saying that. Now, the results of it are going to be fun. When you have a fat bank account, you have a big wallet, and you can go around and you could not buy anything for anybody because you can't touch anybody, but you could just save a lot of money, right? You could send virtual pies. I was thinking about that. What if you take your pie and put it in an envelope and mail it to your client? Would that work? No, that wouldn't work. Just kidding. You could do a pie certificate, right? Maybe a pie certificate. We're sending out our cards. Our cards are these cards, and we're actually not, we decided to print the names on the inside as opposed to signing them, because normally we would sign our cards, but I thought signing creates too many people, too many touch points on a card. So we just changed the way the business was. And so now our cards are just just pre-printed cards, and they're done. But so that's just what it is. Instead of complaining about the way that the system is, I just work around what the system says for me to do, and I just move forward with it. But real estate is a massive lead business. It is all about leads. There's nothing more important in our job than lead generation. Nothing. I don't care. Going to Starbucks to get your Starbucks isn't more important. Servicing your leads, showing clients property, nothing is more important than the actual lead business. And there's a difference between lead generating and lead receiving. Because the truth is, until you have enough leads to exceed your goals, there's nothing else. There's nothing else more important to you than lead generation. Nothing. But the biggest challenge you're going to have is you must think of lead generation no matter what. Nothing is more important. I mean, people, they don't, a lot of real estate agents don't understand this. And everyone says, oh, it's a time of the market right now. No, No, that's incorrect. Because in the 20 years I've been doing this, and I've been in real estate 25 years, but in the 20 years I've been doing the actual real estate, I was a mortgage lender before that. I was with a small brokerage that eventually got gobbled up by Compass 18 years ago. Not, it got gobbled up now, but it was previously an independent company. I heard the same problem, the same excuse. Same excuse is, I don't know how to lead. There's no time to lead generate. Oh, the market. Oh, the clients. Oh, this. And guess what? The excuses are always there. They're always there. It just is I find a different reason to create a new excuse. And the excuse is a crutch for me to not do what I want to do. And then we go and we hear Gary Keller on stage say that, hey, you're doing it. And I hear the same speech by Gary every year. Of course, it's sprinkled a little bit different for the timing, but it's the same thing. That won't work in my market. I don't have time to lead generate. Nobody wants to hear from me. Oh my gosh, you're making it hard for me to do business. There's too much competition. That person stole my business. Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to go and I need a real job. We hear it all the time. It just changes. So focus on lead generation no matter what. Nothing is more important. Now, if you like these slides or this information, you can find it on Keller or mykw.kw.com or that website, and go under education and go into MREA series. And this is part of the systematizing lead generation course. This is an actual all-day 8-hour course that I used to teach throughout the country. We don't teach this course anymore, but I pulled this information straight out. So real estate, fight this temptation as an agent. Okay, your program, your lead generation must always be active. You must always be thinking about real estate and thinking about how I could convert a lead everywhere I go. Case in point, I went to a buddy of mine. I'm a licensed contractor as well. I own a construction company. I'm a property manager. We do that. We also have a transaction coordination company. We do about 90 to 100 transactions per month through that TC company. But I go to my friend's party. It was like a pumpkin carving party, and it was pre-COVID. It was a couple of years ago. And I would see all the people who I knew. And I started writing down the names of the people I knew. And I went home and went to the title company search, because now we can do real list on our title, and got all their names. And I started mailing them a bunch of crap without even asking. It's like, why ask for permission? I'll just ask for forgiveness. In fact, I'm not even going to ask for forgiveness. I'm just going to mail you a bunch of crap. I'm just going to do it. Why? Because that's my job. I need to make sure that I am doing everything I can to make money. So what happens is I added him to the database. I started mailing a bunch of crap to him. About 2 or 3 years later, I get a call saying, hey, we're thinking about doing this. And it ended up being a sale of 3 million and a purchase of 4 million, all because I just put them on a database. Now I had no idea. I had no idea. I thought that they weren't even homeowner. I mean, that their home wasn't worth anything until I looked at it and went, oh my gosh, they live in Palo Alto and they need to buy in Los Altos. So don't be afraid of certain things, because if you have a fear of making a contact or a conversation with the client for any reason, it's because you yourself would be bothered if you did it to yourself. Does that make sense? You are overthinking what they would think if you mailed them stuff. Well, don't overthink it, because Gary Keller says just send something. Don't overthink it, because if you overthink it, you'll send nothing. And up until you get to the point where you have enough money and time and income in order to create a better message, just send something, even if it's a folded piece of paper. Well, don't handwrite in it, because it's probably not COVID specific. Print out the crap, mail it is better than nothing. Because remember when we used to door knock, some fool in that neighborhood photocopied, Xerox a yellow piece of paper, and it said new listings, and it was to the side and it was crooked and it was on the desktop, but he had like a command, or she had all the listings in that neighborhood with their stupid janky flyer that probably took 5 minutes to make, that looked like he was hitting his keyboard with his fists. And why do they get the listing and you don't? Well, because you overthought yours and you thought about what I should send, and then you made it all pretty and it looked amazing, but you sent it once because it cost you thousands of dollars to create, and you sent it once and everyone threw it in the trash. But his or hers was there every day or every week. And so they saw that person and they saw the effort that they're putting in, even though when they listed the house, it looked like crap. They don't sell for very good, but people don't really know the after effect of hiring an agent. They only think about who the agent is. They don't know if that agent's going to be good. I mean, some people will look at your flyers and go, ooh, you do virtual.
Okay.
You do virtual tours and things like that, but not everybody knows that. So your lead generation program must always be active. You must shift your activities. It says largely towards marketing, but that's incorrect, because when the MREA book was released, it's shift your activities largely towards prospecting and being marketing enhanced. So prospecting versus marketing enhanced versus the old way, which was marketing, which was one of our old teachings with Gary Keller. But when it says work largely towards prospecting and being marketing enhanced, what does that mean? Does anyone have an idea what I mean by marketing or prospecting with marketing enhanced? What does that mean?
Prospecting is all activities that you actually are connecting with people one-on-one and engaging and connecting immediately, where marketing is doing some of that lifting for you ahead of time. It's just passive.
Okay. So how do they go hand in hand? Why does marketing benefit prospecting?
Marketing buys market share. So when you make the connection, it keeps you top of mind.
Okay. That's a good thought. Good thought. So if I door knock a neighborhood, we can't door knock, but let's just give you an analogy. If I door knock a neighborhood and I don't know anybody, I knock on the door, no one's going to know me from Adam or Eve. And they're going to be like, who's this dude? Why are you here? Leave. Right. Not that everybody would be that way, but I'm trying to be facetious with my thoughts. Okay. But if I mail a bunch of crap to that neighborhood and I show up at the door, do you think I'll have a better chance of that person being more friendly for me when I actually door knock? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
That's how your marketing or your prospecting could be marketing enhanced by pre-marketing and marketing to the target audience, and then using prospecting to target the market audience. You've made a cold call become somewhat warm. For example, you have a database of, say you go soccer, you have 10 people, kids on the soccer team. Find all 10 of those people, those parents, put all them on your database, mail a bunch of crack to them. And then by the end of the season, they'll recognize you as a real estate agent instead of just the dad of the, the people on the soccer team. So you are being marketing driven, but you're prospecting because you're cheating. They don't know it's not a farm. You could just say, oh yeah, I farm that neighborhood, even though it's like the one house in that whole neighborhood you're mailing to. They don't know. They don't know. You're not sending personal stuff, but I will send the farm. I'll even look them up on Facebook to find their birthday, their anniversary, their kids' birthdays, and I start mailing a bunch of crap to them. I don't care. I have no qualms about it. We have these little, these birthday cards. They fold over. On the inside, it has, the logos of Keller that I could write. So we send those out. If anybody gives me a referral, you can go online to starbucks.com and get these. They're $5 each, and they come in a card. And you just put them in the envelope when that person gives you a referral for $5. And then I have the KW cards. Every time I talk to someone on the phone, I write out a KW card and say, hey, it was really nice talking to you. And I mail it because my lead generation must always be active and it must be working. And my marketing that I do. So then it leads to marketing. If I'm going to market, I need to make sure my marketing is database driven. And what I mean by database driven is I don't just want to blindly market to people that I know that I can't target. For example, my daughter's coming in the room. I'm sorry. So for example, if would it be worthwhile for me to sponsor a shopping cart at the grocery store? Well, it may not be necessarily. So there's my daughter right there. She's coming by and saying hi. Would it be advantageous for you to market to a store? Maybe not. It might not. These are we all have homeschoolers, right? I got three. This is COVID. So I'm in my professional office. This is my assistant here,
Life is happening and that's life.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
But I got to go. I got to teach my class. Okay. I got to teach my class. I know. And I love you. Thank you.
Aww.
All right.
Okay. That's why we do what we do. That's beautiful.
This is my baby. Okay. So the idea is if I'm going to be doing any type of marketing, it must be database driven. I need to make sure that I'm marketing to the right person, or I'm marketing to a database that I can go back to and do prospecting for. So if I'm blindly marketing to this huge database or huge swath of people that I don't know the return is, well, I better have a lot of money to do that. Because a billboard, I better have a lot of money because I don't know if it's going to give me a return. So if I'm going to bust out $5,000 for a billboard or whatever, I need to know it's going to send out because I'm at the point where I could do that. At the very beginning of my career, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend $5,000. I'm not going to go sponsor your football, the piece of paper with your name on the bottom because I can't track that. So your number 4 is use your 8x8, 33 touch, and 12 direct. Now, these are the terms that we used back in the old days with Keller Williams, and a lot of times we pull away from it. But the idea behind the 8x8, 33 touch, and 12 direct, which we're going to go into in a couple of minutes, I'm going to be very respectful for time here as well, is everybody that you talk to needs to be on an action plan of some sort in your database. Because if your database, I know that's candy. Your database, I need you to come out. All right, let me go. Give me 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Let me just put it out. Okay. There you go. Run. Okay, I locked the door. Okay, so my little baby girl, I love her. All right. So I have 3 kids. If anybody wants to know, a 13, 5, and a 3, and that's my youngest. Okay. So getting myself back. All right. The Keller Williams teaching philosophy is also is if you have a database and in this database, everybody needs to be on an action plan. An action plan must be a system that tells you, it systematizes when you talk to them, when you call them, when you email them, everything that you need to do with that person to be sure that they don't forget you. Because we know that if about 17 days go by where you're not touching the client in a non-automated way, they're going to start forgetting you. It's very similar to, say, I know we're in the era of COVID, but when was the last vacation all of you took? Right? Just think about that last vacation. I see some of you guys smiling on that vacation. Yeah, because you're thinking, oh, that was fun. And where did you go? I mean, my last vacation, I took my team on a cruise to, it was a pre-COVID cruise, down to Mexico or something like that. The whole team. Gave everybody free drinking passes, and I only drank like 1 or 2 a day. That's it. I was like, I got a free drinking pass. It was a waste for me. But hi, baby. All right. So a minute ago, you weren't thinking about that vacation. But now that I mentioned the vacation, you're thinking about it. But 1 minute ago, you weren't. So the vacation memory is still there, right? The vacation memory is still there. It's still active, but you forgot about it. Not in a bad way. You just forgot about it until I mentioned your vacation and you thought about it. That's what happens with you, with your clients. The longer you go without talking to them, they forget you. And some other, a smooth guy, smooth girl could come along and steal your client, not steal, but present themselves in a better way. But we'll say steal for the sake of the argument. They'll end up taking your client because they're talking more about real estate more often to the person who you have, because just because you're talking to them doesn't mean another agent isn't talking to them. Right. And if you're talking to them less than the other agent's talking to them, well, who's going to win that battle? Who's going to win the positioning? You or the other agent? The other agent. So if I'm not systematically contacting my clients and I'm not doing it right, you have KW Command. How many of you are utilizing KW Command like there is no tomorrow? It is part of you being with Keller Williams, gives you KW Command. Are you using it? Are you calling your clients back when it tells you to call? Are they on 33 touches on the 8x8s? Do you have the Facebook ads running through Command? If you are thinking in your mind you are not doing that, then your first to-do from this call is go figure out Command and go load your database into it and start working it. Because if you don't have a database that's working for you, it's just a phone book. It's just a phone book and that's it.
God, I love that. That was, yeah.
Well, the thought is the success of today's agent is a large and powerful database. Our database has over 5,000 people in it, and our goal is over what 1 to 1.2 million in GCIs, our 2021 goal for the team. And so we will continue to grow, but we have to through a database. If we don't have a database, you're going to be always figgling like, oh, who's that person I should talk to? All right. So you're building your business. So this building your business, the size of your real estate business will be in direct proportion to the size and quality of your database. But the size and quality of your database is going to be in direct proportion of how is it working for you. Do you utilize Command or another system? Because the best database to use is the one that you'll use. But we give you Command and we give you training. So it's like you might as well use that one first and figure it out from there. So the first law is your business is your database, and the laws to lead generation. These are the 4 laws to lead generation that Gary Keller has been teaching since he wrote the MRA book: is build your database, feed it every day, communicate with it, and service all the leads you come your way. So these are the 4 topics we'll quickly go over in order to meet within the timeframes of the class. How many more minutes do I have? About 15 minutes, roughly. 12:30.
Yes, well, it's kind of over right now, but if you guys want to just hang tight, since we had to talk a little bit more about the COVID, which we really didn't know when we scheduled this, just out of respect, I think you'll learn a lot from him. So let's move forward.
Okay. I will do 10 more minutes and then I'll stop and then I'll open it for Q&A. So then anybody can ask questions. So I'll be available. I have no problem. I'll stick around for another 10, 15, 20 minutes to be able to answer, but at least it'll allow you guys to get on with your day.
You're awesome. Okay. Thank you.
The 4 laws to lead generation is build your database, feed it every day, communicate with it, and service the lead. So for building my database, I need to make sure that all of my contacts are going into this database. Everybody counts, everybody matters. I don't care who they are. It could be from church, your baseball, it could be anything. You need to make sure that they all go into this database. Now, from the MRA book here, you see this thought is how I'm going to be differentiating the people within my database. If I know them, I must treat them and put them on a systematized lead generation plan. I need to be sure that if I know them, that I'm talking to them all the time and I'm emailing them and I'm mailing them, etc. The people who I mail to and email to they get a monthly, people say, okay, what the touch program? There's 2 touch programs. If I don't know the person, you put them on a 12 direct. That's a farm, right? Once a month, I send a farm to people I don't know. That's what a 12 direct means when it says 8x8, 33 touch, 12 direct from the book. That means you'll have a 50-to-1 ratio. I'm going to lose you on some of this. So I'm going to go back a little bit and just say, if you don't know them, you mail to them monthly. But if you know them, you put them on a better touch. So in regards to the touches that you have, do you guys feel that you have a robust 33 touch program, or do you feel that there needs some effort and some help in regards to it? Well, I know that everyone's muted. Julie, I see you waving and saying hi. I mean, yes, you do have one. Well, I know because you've been around as long as I have. So come on, Julie. So actually probably longer because I remember you back in the days. So if I have a 33 touch program, people always say, well, what's your touch program, Chris? How do you keep in touch with your clients? Well, I send out a monthly postcard to the entire database, right? Everybody gets a monthly postcard. When the new one hits, I send the next one out. I send it bulk mail. So it takes 3 weeks to get there, but I plan it 3 weeks, right? It comes, it hits, I wait a week, I mail. So it always takes 3 weeks, but it's cheaper to send bulk mail than first class. And then they say, okay, what else do you do? I say, well, I send out a weekly email to my entire database. You say, your entire database? And I say, yeah, a weekly email to the entire database. All like 5, 6, 7,000? Yes, all 5, 6, 7,000 people get a weekly email. Now, does it work at the beginning? No, people get irritated with it. But if I am Home Depot, they send you a freaking email 5 days a week, every day of the week with Home Depot crap. So I'm the same way. Now, originally I got, we'd have to like 4 or 5 people unsubscribing every single week, but now it's down to really relatively no unsubscribes. We have more people added to the database every week than people that come out. But what that does is it gives an additional touch in a different way, right? But we have content specific email that we send out on a weekly basis. I also send out everybody in our database is on an e-alert type system that you can get through command or however, where it just automatically sends an email based upon their search criteria for what they want. If it's a buyer, they get the buyer crap. If it's a seller, it's a radius search around their home so that they're getting listing information like what's selling around their home. Every time let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3 times a year, we have to make a phone call to the database. You make a phone call to the database, you leave a message, then you send out the Keller Williams card saying, I'm referencing, hey, it was great talking to you on the phone. Or if I didn't reach you, I write a message saying, one of these cards, I write a message saying, I left you a message, don't forget about me. And I put my business card in there as well. All right. So then they say, well, what else do you send? Well, I also have birthday cards, anniversary cards, every possible card I can get on my desk. I have bereavement cards. I have congratulations on expecting, birthday cards for kids. I don't care. Whenever you go to places and all those cards are on discount, like last year's version, just go buy a bunch of them because you never know when is going to be the right time to touch. So you always need to find a way to touch your clients more than anything, because if you don't, someone else will, and it will create income back for you. So when it says build your database, that means start with command, go build the database, make it work, figure it out. 5 minutes a day on command, you'll become an expert in a couple of weeks. You won't be an expert one day. You won't be an expert on 2 classes. Take 5 classes. Just keep doing it every day till you become an expert at it. Now you've built your database. The next thing is feed it every day, which means I add everybody to my database. I don't care who it is, add anybody and everybody to the database. It could be, even if you only have a name without a phone number, without an address, I don't care. Add them to the database, because give yourself a follow-up to continue to try to find that person. Whether you're going to look on social media, try to find a way to connect with that person in order to help grow your database. Now, the idea is, if I have a real estate office, I'm running a real estate office at a Tracy and Manteca and Stockton, and I don't know what the other place you said was, a bunch of them, right? Michelle's got this amazing office and she's doing amazing. Every month, real estate agents leave the business, don't they? They just leave the business. It's like I could have 100 people in my office, and in 1 month, now I have 98. Why? Because 2 people just got out of the business. They either got out of the business, they died, they decided to marry a real estate agent who's better than them. They married someone who's inherently wealthy. They don't have to do it anymore. So in order for a real estate office to continue to grow, they must recruit all the time to replace those people who may end up leaving over time. Now that's the same. So that's why we grow. We grow because we have to always feel inventive and feel wonderful and amazing. And the growth creates so much opportunities, because if you don't grow, you're retracting. And if you have your database, it has 100 people in your database and you do nothing to it, in 1 year, I'll guarantee your database is down to 95. And why? Because someone in your database died. Someone in your database married a real estate agent. Someone in their database no longer likes you. Someone in your database moved and they never gave you a forwarding address. So you must always be building your database on a regular basis. And then it says, so the next thing is communicating with it. So now I've built my database. I'm adding everybody I can to the database. Everybody, don't worry about it. Communicating and setting up those action plans where you're systematically marketing and prospecting to them, like we had talked about a minute ago. And then the last step would be, so if I take a look at this screen, a lot of people say, well, what is this? I don't get what this is. Well, if you split your database into two sides for the last 5 minutes here, I've got 5 minutes left. If you split it to the two sides, to the left side is your met database, to the right side is your haven't met. Your haven't met is your farm. If you're doing a farm, all you're doing is you're putting them in your contact management database, you're mailing them to them once a month, and then hopefully new business will come out. That's a 3 to 5 year return on a farm. If you're going to do a farm, start it 3 to 5 years, you'll get a return. On the left side is your met. You meet the person. And then when you meet them, you have to go to what's going to 8 by 8. It means just talk to them once a week for 8 weeks. And then they go into your regular database, which is your 33 touch. And from that, you'll get repeat and referral business. So the idea is that if I know them really well, I talk to them more often. If I don't know them as well, I don't talk to them as much as often. So I'm going to a little bit faster through some of this other stuff because I want to make sure we go through some of the quick final items on the numbers game. So number one, the truth is the number of leads you must generate is critical. Okay. That is the most important thing that you have to do on a daily basis. Lead generation is not just a numbers game. It's a massive numbers game. It's massive. You may have to talk to 100 people to find someone that may be interested and actually ready to go right now. But that's okay. You figured out what the thing is. So just talk to that 100 people. If you systematize your marketing, that's more important than creative marketing. And that's straight from what Gary Keller again told us at the very beginning was just send something. Don't worry about what you're sending. Just send something. And then as you grow in income and grow in the ability, change your marketing, etc. Now, and the last is your lead generation plan must always be more ambitious than your income goal. You must have a bigger plan than what you're seeing. So the last couple slides here for the last couple of seconds is these are some specific numbers for you guys just to remember. If I have a 12-to-2 ratio, which means every 12 clients in my database should result in 2 deals per year if I am touching them at least 17 times a year. Excuse me. I'm touching them at least every 17 days or 33 times a year. That should give me 2 deals for every 12 people. If I'm just doing a mailer, it's probably going to be 50 homes in the database, 50 homes in the farm should give me 1 deal. Now, this was based upon people not moving as much. So I think the new MREA is going to show 100-to-1 ratio. 100 homes you market to should result in 1 listing, and maybe 24 people in your database should lead to 2 leads. So the last 2 items from the newest slide here from Keller Williams University says, if you are working on lead conversion, your most important thing that you have to focus on is to get an appointment or get a referral. Okay, so we say, I need to lead generate every day. If I'm lead generating every day, the thing I need to focus on the most is getting an appointment. And the Shift book specifically talks about this. The Shift book says that my success in real estate will be directly proportional to the amount of people who, when they think of real estate, they think of me. Okay, yes, that's great. But also my success in real estate is how many people do I get in front of on a daily basis who can say, yes, I want to work with you, or no, I don't. And if I'm not doing enough of those, we're really not getting to where we want to be. We must get the appointment. We must get the referral. So whenever I talk to somebody in my database, I need 1 of 3 outcomes. I need to say, do they want to meet with me to buy or sell? Will they give me a referral to someone who wants to buy or sell? Or can I just strengthen the relationship? So that thought is, if I talk to a client and said, hey, do you want to buy or sell? And they say, no, I'm already working with Joe Blow. I go, well, that's fantastic. I understand. Well, if something happens with Joe Blow and you're not happy with that agent, would you consider me? Well, yes, I would. Now that puts me in second position. Then you say, I provide such a high level of service. Who do you know within your database that I could talk to provide that level of service? It's like, why not? You don't want to work with me. So let me find someone who wants to work with me. And the last slide that we would make sure that we go to is the words of wisdom of Gary Keller. It says, the right approach to close for a meeting is the only approach. You just have to ask for it. So as you're lead generating, just ask for them to meet with you, ask for them to talk to you. We're moving forward and hard into buyer broker agreements, where we are going to require all of our team members to work with buyer broker agreements to be sure that they're going to be doing what they need to in order to grow their business. So right on time, 12:40. So I shortened that up pretty good.
I probably received 6 texts already saying how awesome this was, and thank you, Michele, for bringing Chris. So that means you hit it. I'm so excited. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me stop sharing the screen so I could see everybody again. You know how it works. Stop share. All right. So
Definitely brought some value today. So I appreciate it.
yeah, so I'm back. I'm available to answer any questions that anybody has. I don't know how to moderate that, but just throw it at me if you guys.
I see anything in the chat.
I'll let you guys moderate the chat. I'm just gonna sit here and answer anybody's question. What do you guys got for me?
Anybody have any questions for him? How he handles, or trains his listing agents, or anything about growing the team that he has? You guys, it's not very often we can get Chris on a call, so you realize this. Chris, tell me what your #1 lead source is.
My #1 lead source, my best lead source is my sphere of influence for my 33 touch 8x8. It's my database. That's my best lead. Let's say the highest conversion and highest income producing lead source is my database for income, but my best lead source, my most lead source would be Facebook paid advertising and Google AdWord paid advertising.
So is that through command?
Yeah, it'd be that type of system, and that'd be about 200 leads a month or so come from that direction. So we probably spend 10,000 or so a month on our lead generation programs, but that includes the websites, the lead generation sources, and so forth. But it's just a supply and demand, because if you are smaller, you're not spending as much. When you get bigger, you spend more. So it's not that I'm spending more as a percentage, like what Gary Keller says. It just is more because there's more income coming in. Somebody other hand up.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Brian here. Hey, when do you decide to stop adding agents to your team?
I don't.
Okay.
My goal is in next year. I did hire a business coach. I hired a consultant, not a coach. So it's a little bit different from our MAPS coaching, which are amazing. It's a business consultant who is, we're working on, I think our San Jose location may end up being, I mean, you don't stop. And the reason why I say is, it just depends upon your business. If you are an individual agent, you don't have to have anybody, right? You may just want an assistant and you're happy as a clam. Who cares? But I like leading. I was a team leader for 10 years like Michele. And when being an agent, you kind of want to still be a team leader, but not a team leader like Michele. I don't want to be a team leader again. That was amazing opportunity.
Come on.
No. That was an amazing opportunity for those 10 years. But I essentially am a team leader now. I recruit, I retain, I train, I coach, I consult, just like everybody. But the idea is, it is easier to help your existing agents grow more business than it is to just add agents on, but you want to do a combination of both. And so my office in San Jose, I think, has 8 or so. And I think my goal is to get it to 20 by the end of next year or something like that. So I'm on the recruiting mode right now. So if I get someone who isn't right, I just spit them back out to the team leader and let the team leader take over. So
there you go. Hey, so you would say the most important thing for any agent to do is get their database full?
Oh yeah, the most important thing for you to do is master your database. If you haven't mastered your database, start it right now. That nothing else is more important than mastering that database.
Yeah, I know a few people on this screen right now. Yeah, actually might be like going like this. So you just pointed yourself out, doll. So, okay, there's a question. Is the model that you presented still be used today with command? Yes, I think you just answered that.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah, it's even better. I'd say with that. There are other systems that are trying to do that, but command is there and it's got it and it works.
Command was designed around the MREA.
Mm-hmm.
And I designed my business around the MREA book.
And so what do you tell people, or what do you tell the agents in your offices? Because since you are an expansion, you see a lot of agents who aren't using command, who say, I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
Ask them, well, what are you using? What are you using?
If they're using, right? If they're using something.
Yeah, if they're not using it, if they don't not using anything and not using command, see the point is I'm not a team leader right now, so I can call them out, right? I can be like, you're dumb. Why are you not using it? It's the stupidest thing ever. Because remember, I am an agent, so I don't have to filter what I'm saying. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world if you're not using a database in order to prospect and market. I don't know why you're not. I think you're thinking too small. It's there. It sucks to figure out how to use a new system, but use it. Use that system. Because it will help you with your long-term in your career. So when I went from being a team leader I was a non-producing team leader of a 350 agent office. I retired as a number 2 recruiter in all of Keller Williams, and I retired. I just retired, top my game. I didn't decide, oh, this sucks, I don't want to do it. I just said, 10 years, I'm gonna try something else, right? That's what I decided to do. And then I stayed with that office for another 5 years, 6 years with the same office. So I loved it. Nobody remembers I'm a team leader, so I love it. It's like, oh, you did, Michele, but I mean, nobody remembers, so I love it. But I tell them straight up, why aren't you using a database? I think you're dumb. I think you need to go and get in the class. Are you really serious about your business? If people really want me to tell them what I'm thinking.
I want to say that I'm like super, super proud of myself. I also want to put a shout out to Brian because he's been helping my assistant. I just hired an assistant and she just like rocks. I'm seeing all of my percentages going up in every area. Brian's helping me to teach her. I've been more disciplined in going into the system every day, following up on my leads, making my phone calls, making my notes. And it's like, hello, it's so freaking simple.
Okay, so wait a minute, Genevieve, you hired an assistant first and not a buyer's agent? You know how many times I hear people wanted to hire a buyer's agent or someone like that before an assistant? So I'm so proud that you're using the MREA because you hire an assistant first. Go ahead, Chris. I know you've got something you want to say about that.
No, I am right. It says a second level MREA agent, you hire your first assistant.
Right.
It's fantastic. So Gary Keller says the average agent can handle 10 listings without an assistant, 10 at one time before getting an assistant, but only 5 buyers. 5 buyers, you probably active buyers who are looking, not in escrow. 5 buyers are showing you're at capacity. You're like, frick, I don't have time for anything. So just be very aware that your first assistant is someone who you hire before you create a buyer's agent, and you actually bring on a transaction coordinator before you bring on a buyer's agent. The problem is we just have high priced areas and we make a lot of money. And so suddenly we think, I need someone else to do it for me. But it's hard for, say I run the company, right? And I have a deal. Say the deal is going to be $1 million and the $1 million commission is going to be 25,000. I'm just assuming 25%. And I have to bring on a buyer's agent and I got to share half that commission with the buyer's agent. A weird thought, right? Because normally you think as a buyer's agent, I have to share half my commission with the lead. But what about the leads thinking I got to share half my commission with the buyer's agent? So when COVID hit, I had to go back into hardcore production in order to create income in order for the staff. We have many staff. We have four staff members to create income for the corporations. And me, I'm the 5th. I'm a staff member. I don't get paid commission. I just get paid a salary for my company. So be very aware that when you bring on an administrative assistant, it's cheaper to bring on a assistant than it is to bring on a buyer's agent because you're giving half your commission up to the buyer's agent.
So let me ask you this. Thank you for answering that. Who does the setup and execution of all your touch points?
That's great. Not me. I have a partner agent. Her name is Hannah. She is my business partner. She makes a percentage of everything I make. The part that I can't do is I'll say I'll call you back, but I won't. And I know that. And I'll say I'll follow up, but I won't. That's my biggest weakness. So I brought on a partner who will do that. She's salary plus gets a percentage of what I earn because she's also a licensed agent at the office. I have an office manager. The office manager is the one that handles all of the marketing touches, but a lot of it's automated because we use checklists and our checklists tell us what to use. We use the website Monday and it gives everybody the checklist of what everybody has to do. And it's very redundant. So for that, it is that. Now the MREA book says at the first level, you are your marketing and your administrative person. So you are doing it yourself. As you grow, you'll end up having, because at the very beginning of your career, you have a lot of time, but not a lot of money. And so you are doing it all yourself. But as you grow in your career, you have a lot of money, but no time. And so it does cost a lot of money where the people who do work for me, are buying houses, so they make a lot of money because they all have insurance. I all have everything. So I'm providing an amazing company to work for. And we didn't de-hire anybody during COVID, but yes, no, other people handle that aspect at the very beginning, but you can automate a lot of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Are you using anything else besides Command?
Boomtown. Yeah, so we use Boomtown. We are big users of Boomtown, and we are before COVID hit, we started then working on Command to understand it better. But when COVID hit, we stopped and circled the wagons and did everything we could in order to make sure that we make a lot of income. So now that COVID is still here, it's on our to-do list, but lead generation is so important that we're waiting until we get to things to be a little bit more evened out before then we start pursuing it. Because if I use Command, I save a lot of money, but I don't want to commit the time to get over fully into Command until the market's a little bit better, or maybe my team's a little bit bigger, so that I can hire an additional staff member to do it. Because when you're talking, 6,000-7,000 people in a database and moving it over, that's a little hard. So we jumped into Command and started working, and we love it. So we have 2 systems running right now.
Awesome.
So you could feed your Boomtown leads into Command though, right? Automatically.
Yeah, we can, but I think that Command can load in the Boomtown leads, but we have websites that are all integrated, so it's going to be a big step. So we were already planning on committing about $10,000 in order to capitalize and make that happen. And then COVID hit. And I said, nope, sorry, stop everything, because you circle the wagons. When the market hits a little bit different, you cut all your expenses, you start revisiting everything that you're working on to make sure that you can survive. And we did, but we had to do an EIDL loan and a PPP loan for our corporations in order to get ourselves through. But we got it through. Not one person dehired or loss of staff during COVID. And I stopped my commission taking, went straight to salary, and that also helped out the companies.
That is wonderful. Chris, you've been amazing. Truly, truly amazing. We
Yes.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
I remember when he first came. That's when you started, Michele.
Really?
I remember him.
Yeah. Well, I came on 2014, I think, is when I joined Keller Williams. 2013.
Oh, I was 2012.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
I remember him coming to the office.
Team leader since 2012.
Wait, no, 2000. I'm sorry, not 2012. 2004. 2004.
Okay. You were before me. Yeah, you were definitely before me because you were a TL before me.
Yeah, I was a TL at the San Jose Silicon Valley Market Center, and then I was in Cupertino, and I retired from Cupertino 7 years ago.
You have a cute little boy, right? I remember him.
I have 3.
Well, he's probably big now, but
yeah. Well, I'm Chris Alston on Facebook. Feel free to friend me.
No, I've seen you on Facebook.
Yeah, I got 3 kids now. So
yeah.
Chris, I really appreciate you reaching out to me and coming from abundance like Keller Williams agents always do. So thank you so much. And we wish you a Merry Christmas and God bless you and stay safe.
When you guys teach your next Ignite, I'll be happy to teach one of the classes for you in Ignite, any one of my.
Don't even get me going on that. So I'm excited. I heard it. Everybody heard it.
It's only an hour. I'm not driving anywhere. I'm just sitting. I'm in my office, my official office, but I mean, it's no big deal to me. The way it is I'm able to get to know you guys. And so if there's anything that we can help you out with the Bay Area here in the San Jose area, feel free to reach out. And I'll do vice versa. So feel free to send me the information, because I don't cover the area that Tracy area and the Stockton area. I don't cover it. I just kind of drive through it. So I'll be happy to meet you guys.
Thank you. God bless. All right, guys, have a blessed day and stay safe. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
If I end it, it'll turn it off for everybody. I'm sorry. So I'm just waiting until everybody goes. Otherwise, it's going to knock everybody off.